So I hope everyone has given this test. Anyone who has
Yes,
not?
sir.
Arnab, Kapil. So first part. Interest of 50,000 paid to vendor X who was registered under MSME Act 2006. Interest of 50,000 paid to vendor X who was registered under MSME Act 2006. Yes. What do you think? फटाफट से आंसर बताओ.
So not allowable
It's not allowable.
as per clause 22.
Clause 22, it shall be disallowed, right? So you'll have to report in accordance with tax audit report clause 22 of form 3cd. Clause 22 of form 3cd. Then second point, interest payment of 10,000 was incurred in relation to earning exempt interest income from tax relief bonds. That means what? You received interest income from bonds, you invested in bonds, and now you are receiving interest income against that bonds. Now you want to claim expense against these interest income that you received. You also incurred certain expenses, so you want to claim these expenses. However, the income that you have received is exempt income. Can you claim the expense?
No, sir.
No.
So do you remember under which clause you used to report this?
Clause 21, subclause H.
Clause 21, subclause H, correct.
H.
Section 14A, yes or no? Section 14A of Income Tax Act clearly disallows such expenses to be claimed. Then sum of 1 lakh was received from Mr. X for sale of one plant and machinery, but due to non-compliance, one of the condition of the specified in the contract, he then forfeited this 1 lakh during AY 20 to 23 as per forfeiture clause mentioned in the contract. So you forfeited capital asset
So deemed to be income.
deemed to be income under which clause, under which section first of all?
29A. Clause 29A.
29A.
Clause
Section 56
29A.
to 9.
Section 56 to 9, correct, exactly. Section 56 to 9 of Income Tax Act allow requires you to add back this income, or requires you to charge this income that you have received, or as a forfeiture amount you will have to charge this income under the head income from other sources, correct. Clause 29A has to be mentioned. Then second question, Nitesh, CA Nitesh, carrying out tax audit, observed that PQR Limited has entered into specified financial transaction. Easy question, SFT, direct question. Which clause do you remember from as for SFT?
42.
They have also mentioned this, that requirement has to be reported under clause 42 of form 3cd for SFT transaction. Specified financial transaction are covered under section 285BA. So how was the reporting done in SFT? Anyone? Reporting was similar to what we did in clause 34 subclause B, that whether the form name, form number, then whether due date of the form, the date of filing of actual date of filing of the form, is there anything which is not been correct, whether the form is correctly filed, yes or no. Then if not, then are the other details which has not yet provided been provided or not? Please provide those details. Do you remember this? Reporting has to be done, na? Here what does it say? The management contents that tax auditor need not report if the transaction are not covered in the ambit of 269 ST. Management is no management comment is wrong, right? This SFT transaction has to be reported in clause 42, and the reporting requirement, you will have to clearly mention the reporting requirement, the table. I'll just share the suggested answers as well. After this, you can go through that, but you must be remembering the table, right? Then section 3, sorry, question 3.
So, this
Yeah.
has to be reported only when the transaction amount exceeds rupees 10 lakhs now. 10 lakhs or 10 crores.
No,
We have to
there are
mention that in answer now.
different limits for different types of transaction actually. So if you will start thinking on those lines, then you will have to go through the entire section of 285BA. Section 285BA in itself could be a chapter. It's a small chapter in income tax as well. So then there are different limits. For some 5 lakh, for then other transaction 10 lakh that you receive from debtors. There 10 lakh. Then if you are depositing in current account, I guess it's 1 crore. So there are different types of transaction for which different limits are there. So nothing mentioned, you will then have to report anyway. Guide CNETH with reporting requirement under clause 42. The management content tax return need not report if the transaction are not covered in the ambit of section 269 ST. Management is so completely wrong. 269 ST is not at all related in section 285 BA. This is something which is financial transaction has to be reported if it is specified in this section, specified financial transaction. So 10 lakh is not the only limit. Okay? Then Lakshmi.
Yes, sir.
Other limits are also there, other amounts. Then question number 3. Turnover of the company for the year ended 31st March 21 was 150 crore. During the year 1819, company claimed deduction of bad debts 100 lakhs while filing income tax return out of total 150 lakhs. However, financial year 2020-2021, company was able to recover 75 lakhs from Mr. X through legal means. That means bad debts recovered. Bad debts recovered. Where do we used to charge the income? Income from bad debts
Section
recovered.
41.
Section
Clause
41 of the
25,
Income
sir.
Tax Act. Clause
25.
55.
25. Correct. So clause 25 of income tax, clause 25 of form 3CD and section 41 has to be mentioned here clearly, and then also the language and reporting. You will get definitely the good, almost like if the question is of 4 marks, then definitely at least 3 marks you will get. TP Limited, a government company engaged in providing tourism services, has failed to get its accounts audited by state auditor for the financial year 21-22. You have been appointed as tax auditor for the same period, and management provided the unaudited financial statement which have been adopted in AGM. Subsequently, state auditor, while auditing, observed that there is a material misstatement in providing depreciation on fixed asset, due to which financial statements has been revised. Now the company is requesting you to revise the tax audit report. You are required to state whether the tax audit report can be revised, and if so, under what circumstances. So first of all, there was an amendment with respect to tax audit revision under two sections, section 40 and section 43B, right? Section 40, due to section 40A IA or 40A I or any sort of other section of section 40, subsections of 40, then you can amend the tax audit report if you have deducted or paid the tax deducted later after filing the tax audit report. And same goes with section 43B. Other than that, they have given one of the condition here. Other than this two conditions, there were three more conditions given for tax audit revision. Do you remember?
Revision
Retrospective
of
effect.
Yeah, Suneshwaran?
revision of accounts, changes in law with retrospective effect, and changes in the interpretation of law.
Correct. So these 3 points also you have to mention, and then accordingly conclude that yes, in this case, the tax audit report can be amended. Material misstatement in providing depreciation of fixed asset, due to which financial statement have been revised. So there has been a state change in revision in statement of accounts, right? So next question, printing press proprietary concern made a turnover of 1.03 crore for the year ended 31st March 19. Management explained its auditor that it undertakes different job work orders from different various customers. Raw material required for each job are dissimilar. It purchases the raw material as per specification requirement of each customer, and there is hardly any balance of raw material left, or hardly any raw material balance left or remaining in the stock except pending WIP at the year end. So because of this so much of the variety of raw materials and so much complexity in the materials, it is impossible for them to maintain a stock register. So you have to give your comments whether is this justification valid, or if valid, then how will you check further. You have to give your comments. So this is a typical a good question where you won't even realize that the question is from tax audit until and unless you are going through in depth all the clauses, because they have nowhere mentioned you have to report under in accordance with form 3CD or tax audit. You have to think on those lines. Why they have given this turnover of 1.03 crore? Because then the tax audit will apply under section 44AB. Yes, question number 5. Anyone
So this
able
shall
to?
be reported under clause 35B.
Clause 35B, yeah. And maintenance of stock register or valuation, or maintenance of stock register, that means what it is relating to what? Books of account.
11, clause 11.
So they are not maintaining stock register, right? So here they will also mention what? Clause 11. Similarly, if you have not um there there is a clause 35, right? Clause 35 which tells you to report the mixture of your raw materials, WIP, finished goods, and in accordance with the opening, then consumed, then purchases during the year, then sold, then closing stock, and then how much is the normal loss, if at all is any, in the quantity terms, then normal loss, percentage, abnormal loss. All this has to be reported in accordance with clause 35b. So clause 35 plus clause 11 both has to be mentioned. Clear? Clause 11, why I told you, because of this stock register you are not maintaining the stock register, so you might have to report this, that stock register is not maintained, although you will tell that the management is giving this clarification that because of the complexity of the material and variety in the materials, stock register is not maintained, and for the reasons that they give, you will also have to check whether the reason is justifiable or not. So you might have to then check based on the customs and tradition what other job workers are doing. Are they maintaining stock register or not? Or is this really unfeasible for them to maintain stock register? Yes, Suneshwaran. Clear? Anyone, any doubt? Nikita, Avija, Pooja, tell me fast.
No, sir.
We, what I remember is we were reporting.
Clause 35. Your voice is not coming. Nikita. Yeah, Nikita, tell me.
So I was saying, in clause 35B, we mentioned the details of raw material and finished good, but not WIP.
Yeah,
So,
so huh?
so you said na कि the details of WIP is also mentioned.
WIP, yeah, no details of not WIP, but yeah, raw materials and finished goods or any byproducts.
So that
So they are not telling the details about these raw materials and um, because of the variety and complexity of the raw materials, na. So you'll have to then specify here.
okay.
In the case of a manufacturing concern, giving quantitative details of the principal items of raw materials, finished products, and byproducts. So you have to mention that tax auditor might have to report in clause 35b and clause 11. Clause 11 because they are not maintaining stock register, and clause 35b giving the details, whatever details that you have, and if not no details, then you have also have to mention, specify the same. In there you have to specify whatever details you have.
Okay.
Then question number 6. Any other doubt? No, na? Then question number 6. NKB Limited is engaged in the manufacturing of textile products having an annual capacity of 1 lakh units of garments is covered under the provision of Goods and Service Tax Act with an applicable rate of 12% during financial year 1920. NKB Limited received a demand notice of 15 lakhs pertaining to FY 13-14 when the provision of Central Excise Act was applicable. So do you remember audit under this? Okay, NKB Limited deposited the demand amount after discussing with its legal department. As a tax auditor, you are required to report the same. Where will you report the demand that you received and demand that you paid? Demand you have received and also you have paid the amount.
So clause 41.
Clause 41.
Also, clause 38,
Clause 38. You are telling that,
because it was under like Central Excise Act, na?
yeah, so
But it
there
was
we saw
regarding the
what
audit,
audit
na?
under Central
Not
Excise Act.
refund or.
So here, whenever
Uh,
there is an order passed under any act, or suppose any of the scrutiny case which is being pending under any of the provisions of any act other than Income Tax Act. So Excise Act, Service Tax Act, even I told you GST Act. So there we have to mention what the financial year in which this order relates to, which act this order is passed under, the financial year, and then the demand reference number, demand reference, demand order reference number, demand order amount, date of payment of the amount, or whether paid or not, right? So that reporting was there in clause 41. Clause 38 would come when there is audit being done under Central Excise Act, audit by the department of Central Excise. Clear? Then Lakshmi, anyone
Yes,
else,
sir.
any doubt? So yes, clause 41 will come. Then question number 7, we have to report whether, I mean, we have to comment whether tax audit is applicable or not. Tax audit is applicable or not. Okay. So let's just see the first question. Turnover is 4.5 cr. Percentage of cash receipt out of total receipt is 5%, and percentage of payment in total payment is also 5% only. Has been filing return as per regular provisions of income tax. What do you think, tax audit is applicable or not?
No,
No, why?
the limit will be 10 crore
The limit is 10 crore in case
in case
out of
of cash
total
receipts and
yeah,
cash
cash receipt
payment
does
is
not
not
exceed
exceed 5
5%
percentage.
out of total receipts, and cash payment does not exceed 5% out of total payments. Yeah, quickly then tell me the second point. 1.8 cr is the turnover, and the percentage of cash receipts in total receipt is 7%, and here it's 4%. Again, declared business income as per presumptive taxation under section 44AD. Do you think he'll be required to get his books audited under section 44AB?
No, sir.
No. Again, yes, everyone. Limit is how much? 2
2
cr
crore.
na?
Uh,
2 crore is the limit here, so therefore he will not again be required to get his books audited. Now 0.85 is the turnover. 6% out of total receipts is the cash receipts, and 4% out of total receipts is the payment, cash payment. Now has declared business income as per presumptive section 44AD only during last two previous years. So during last two previous year, he's been declaring under section 44AD, and during the current year, current previous year has declared income lower than as per section 44AD. So current year he has declared what, less than 8% or 6%, as the case may be. And the total income is less than basic exemption limit as well. What do you think?
so not liable to audit.
Not
Yes,
liable
Arnab.
because basic exemption limits less
In
than the total income.
income is less than basic exemption limit, right? So any different view, Avija?
No, sir.
Tax audit is applicable or not, Avija?
Is applicable.
Tax audit is applicable.
Because the declared income lower than section 44AB. So definitely audit is applicable since they can't be converted. Uh, uh, no, no. 1 minute, sir.
Take your time.
So required because he declared the income less than the percentage of 6 or 8%.
Hmm.
That is presumptive on presumptive basis.
So quickly go through section 44 AD subsection 4. 44 AD subsection 4. See here 44 AD subsection 4. Where an eligible assessee declares profit for any previous year in accordance with provision of 44 AD section and declares profit for any of the 5 assessment year relevant to the previous year succeeding such previous year not in accordance with the 44 AD section subsection 1, then he shall not be eligible to claim the benefit of the section 44 AD for 5 assessment year subsequent to the assessment year relevant to the previous year. That means from now on, in which the profit has not been declared in accordance with the provision of subsection 1, notwithstanding anything contained in the foregoing provision of this section, eligible assessors to whom the provision of subsection 4 are applicable and whose total income exceeds the maximum amount which is not chargeable to income tax shall be required to keep his books of account and other documents as required under subsection 2 of section 44 AA and get them audited and furnish report of such audit as required under section 44 AB. So what is it saying? Maintain are applicable and whose total income exceeds the maximum amount which is not chargeable to income tax and maximum amount the income should exceed. I told you in the class also that 44 AD subsection 4 there is this point which is mentioned, right? The income should exceed basic exemption limit. Tell me, so here it won't be applicable. Tax audit will not apply. Tax audit will not apply because the income is less than basic exemption limit. The income is less than basic exemption limit. Are you getting it or not? The income is less than basic exemption limit. So here the tax audit will not apply. Tell me if suppose section 44 AB, the turnover is say 3 CR and the income is less than basic exemption limit. Then what do you think?
Liable to audit.
Liable for audit?
Yes, sir.
Yes, everyone. Yes, liable or not?
Liable, sir, liable.
Liable, sir.
He'll be liable for audit, right? Because here section 44 AD itself is not applicable. So 44 AB, you have to get your books audited, and there is nothing as such mentioned in section 44 AB. It just says that the turnover limit is more than 1 CR, then you have to get your books audited, irrespective of the basic exemption limit. The income is less than that, or income is more than your basic exemption limit. There is nothing as such mentioned there in section 44 AB. Then fourth point, 3.2 CR is the crore, 8% and 6% is the cash receipts and cash payments. You have declared business income as per presumptive taxation under section 44 AE. What was section 44 AE with respect to?
Transporter.
Hiring
Transporter,
business.
right? Vehicle. During last 4 previous years. But during current previous year, he has declared income lower than as per section 44 AE. That means lower than what it would have been 7,500 per month per truck or 12,500 per month per truck. Whatever be the amount, you have declared lower than this. You have declared lower than this amount. And again, now the total income is less than basic exemption limit. Yes.
Applicable.
Applicable.
Applicable, sir.
Tax audit is applicable. Everyone, anyone
Yes, sir.
with a different view? You have to just tell what you have written as an answer in your answer, so that you are able to retain that whether you are right or not. Yes, Nikita, applicable or not? Tax audit.
Sir, applicable.
Why so? Why is it applicable under which clause of section 44 AB?
Clause C.
Clause C, where it says what? In says section 44 AE, section 44 AE, if you are declaring any income which is lower than your presumptive income, then you will have to get your books audited. It is nothing is mentioned as such there that your that your income should be less than or more than basic exemption limit. That your income should be more than a basic exemption limit. It is only specified in section 44 AD. Clear? And I guess also it is mentioned in 44 ADA. Yes, please go through point D and point T again. Point D, it says that if you are declaring income lower than what is offered under section 44 ADA, then and his income exceeds the maximum amount which is not chargeable to income tax, then you will have to get your books audited under section 44 AB subsection or clause D, sorry, clause D. Similarly, in clause E, you will have to get your books audited if 44 AD subsection 4 is applicable and your income is exceeding the maximum amount which is not chargeable to income tax. And so everyone clear? Just remember that here 44 AD and 44 ADA, 44 AD and 44 ADA, you will also have to check whether the income exceeds the basic exemption limit or not, but not in the case of 44 AE, BB, BBB. Everyone clear or not? Yes, yes, yes. Any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Now let's come to last two question. Question number 8. So there is an annual talent evening event that they are celebrating completion of 25 years of their establishment. NGO is a celebrate NGO. There is one NGO they are celebrating. So they have received a contract in respect of food catering and flower decorating. Who has received? Mr. KK Contractor. KK Contractor is received from NGO one contract for food catering. Now for the said event, KK has received in cash 1,85,000 for food catering and 1,25,000 for flower decoration. What do you think? Which section is it they are indicating to? Which section are they referring to? Trying to refer to?
Section 10.
269
Sir,
ST.
clause 10. Clause,
Yeah,
269
Nikita.
ST, sir.
clause 10.
Clause 10.
Nature of business. I
Nature
can
of
receive.
business. From where are you referring to nature of business?
They are giving the various activities. We won't mention any nature of business.
So they have given also that this point, important point na, that you are receiving in cash 1,85,000 for food catering. You are receiving in cash. Clicking anything. Huh? Can you receive in cash?
Section 40A3.
Section 40A. 40 capital A. Okay, section 40 capital A 3. So there it says what? Per day from a
Exceeding
single person.
10,000 rupees per day.
From a single person you
Yes.
receive per day. So here it's nothing mentioned that you have received this in a single day, first of all. So whenever there is a question of section 44 AD, you must have seen as well in our book that they will specifically mention that you are receiving cash from this person against this invoices in a single day, on a single day. So definitely section 40 capital A 3 will apply. Yes, you can mention that also, that those are cannot be received, but that is with respect to payment expenditure and not with respect to receipts. But that is you can mention for this KK. So for NGO, they cannot take this expenditure. They cannot take this expense that they have paid in cash 1,85,000 for food catering and 1,25,000 for flower decoration. They cannot take this expenditure because section 40 capital A3 will disallow them to take this expenditure. But in the books of KK contractor, can he receive the cash? Payment in
No.
receiving cash. Which section?
So 269
Clause.
ST. Section 269 ST, na?
Section 269 ST. Yes, everyone. Do you remember this section or not? What was the
Yes,
limit?
sir.
What was the limit, Kapil?
Exceeding 2 lakhs.
2 lakhs,
2
right?
lakhs.
So 2 lakh was the limit. You have to mention. You have to be on your toes. I told you what. Just go through each and every line. They will not specifically mention all the time. Even if they have mentioned tax auditor, then you are getting a bit help from the institute that yes, this is relating to tax audit chapter. If they would have not given, just simply told you to comment or report accordingly. So you will have then have to also judge the chapter from which it is referring to, right? So be clear that payment is disallowed 40 capital 3, and also the receipt, the person who is receiving the same is also disallowed 2 lakh. The amount is 2 lakh. Is the limit exceeding 2 lakh here in the question?
Yes, sir. 3,10,000.
Yes, everyone, the limit is exceeding or not?
Yes, sir, exceeding. It is related to
Yes.
Yes, sir.
single event.
So
Yes, sir.
what was the section saying? 269 ST, either through single event or single transaction or in a single day. If you are receiving 2 lakhs, exceeding 2 lakhs in a single day or in a single transaction or in a single event, single day, single transaction, single event, in any of the case, if you are receiving more than 2 lakhs, then you will be attracting the provision of to section 269 ST, and you will be attracted penalty as well if you receive the same. So section 269 ST, you cannot receive the amount in cash more than 2 lakhs, and here 1,85,000 plus 1,25,000 relates to single event, one event only, right? So for a single event, you cannot receive 2 lakhs. Therefore, section 269 ST you will have to mention, and accordingly, you have also have to report clause 31 in clause 31. Clear?
31 BC.
31 BC when you are
Even
receiving it in
BA?
cash.
I think it would be BA, sir. Subclause BA.
31A, 31B, 31BA. Yeah. 31BA was with respect to 269 teen 269 SS, na?
ST, sir. ST. 269 ST.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyway, even if you write here clause 31, not the subclause, then also it's good on. It will work. So next last question. As a tax auditor of RM and company for the assessment year 21-22, how would you deal and report the following? RM and company has borrowed 75 lakh from bank at the rate 10% per annum for purchase of machinery. The machinery was purchased on 30th September 2020 but was put to use on 10th April 2021. The interest paid to bank for the year 2020-2021 was charged to profit and loss account. Do you remember I also opened the Income Tax Act provision for this particular clause? In the class, I also opened income tax provision for this particular clause, which this question is referring to. When you have borrowed the amount and it is the amount borrowed is used for the machinery, plant and machinery, and it is put to use on 10th April 2021. The interest paid to bank for the year 2020-2021, last year, previous year, the interest paid is charged to profit and loss account. What do you think? Yes,
So
Kapil.
not reportable.
It should be disallowed and added back to asset.
It should be disallowed and
Added back to the asset.
added back to the asset value, right? Okay.
Clause 21A.
Clause
Capital nature.
A. Okay. Yeah. Because this expenditure relates to
Capital
what?
nature.
Capital nature of expenditure. What do you remember? Capital nature, personal expenditure, or any sort of expenditure, you will have to report in clause 21A. However, this we specifically learned in one other clause as well. One more clause will come where we learned what? Section 36 1 section 36 subsection 1 clause 3, and there one proviso was there where I also opened Income Tax Act, and there we read that proviso. It says what? Where the interest on borrowed capital is utilized for any sort of capital asset, then it can be capitalized, it will be capitalized, and it will be not be chargeable to profit and loss account. Do you remember or not?
Class 21 subclass I.
Clause
21 subclass I.
clause 21 subclause I, right? So even if here you are not mentioning clause 21A or clause 21I, still fine. They have mentioned in the suggested answer both these clauses, but yeah, you can definitely refer to clause 21. At least mention this clause 21, not even if not subclauses. So you'll refer to clause 21. You'll say that capital expenditure has to be added back in the your computation of income, and also your it has to be reported in clause 21. Definitely you must be remembering clause 21A. However, if you are not able to recollect clause 21I, then yes, you can mention also in clause 21, you have to report according to proviso to subsection 36, proviso to section 36(1)(3), where any interest chargeable to Income Tax Act is being utilized for the purpose of capitalization, then it is capitalized and it will not be chargeable to profit and loss account. It is not charged to profit and loss account. Clear? First, any doubt in question number 1? Anyone? Last question. Trading concern maintaining the quantitative details of items traded. The details has been provided to you by the company for meeting reporting requirement. So this clause just now we referred to which clause number? Quantitative details.
35.
35A.
So for trading concern it is 35 clause subclause A. For manufacturing it is subclause B. Right? So I guess everyone is given their best. In case you still have any doubt in the question, you can simply ask now or later as well, and I'll be forwarding you the answers for these also. Just go through them, just revisit what you have written in your test, and just go through the answer what they want as a suggested answer. So just try to take notes that what you are missing or what you are not able to write. Okay, try to make notes of that and just go through that, visit the suggested answer as well as your answers that you have written in your copy. And if anyone wants to discuss anything else in this test, then definitely they can. As well, then we'll start with the revision. Take a 5 minutes break, then we can start quality review. Just we'll try to quickly revise.